what's going on? Jamie Saettele here. Scandinavian Capital Markets and SB Trade Desk. It is Friday, January 28th, 2022. Coming to the end of a pretty wild month to start off the new year. As many of you probably know or have seen in the headlines, it is the worst start to the year for the equity markets in the U.S. in its history. So I'm going to change it up a little bit here. We usually start by looking at dollar and FX stuff, but I actually want to show you some long-term charts of some equity ETFs with my volume indicators. So we're going to start by looking at DIA, which is the basically the Dow Jones Industrial ETF. And I look at a lot of these ETFs for signal purposes. I don't trade these vehicles. There are better things to trade, but I do find them useful as far as signals, and that goes for even currency ETFs as well, but I won't trade those. I'll trade spot. So this is the volume reversal logic that you may have heard me talk about before. The idea behind it is that you get a big volume thrust higher or lower, and then the immediate next period is a high volume move in the opposite direction. So what we've got right here, is, January is coming to a close, so that will end, I guess, on Monday. February 1st is Tuesday. So these are monthly bars, okay? And the red and blue bars that you see are going to be when volume is in one direction down by at least 20% more than the average 12-month volume. And the next bar is at least 30% higher in the opposite direction, okay? So the idea being is it's a trap. So like there's a lot of buying into a high, and then the next period is a lot of selling. And the opposite for projected lows would be a lot of selling into a low, and the next month is a lot of buying, okay? We've got some questions coming in, so keep them coming and I will cover it. Nishant Patel asks for Ethereum. I will look at that for sure. For now, I want to go over these equity charts real quick. So what we're going to end up with here is a big volume reversal signal in the Dow, okay? You can just look at the chart here over the last 20 plus years. The sell signals we got one in May of '99. Would have been a little early, but you get the idea. We would have had two of them, one in June '07, one in November 2007. Obviously, this was the financial crisis. We would have had one here in February of 2018. Preceded, a more or less sideways to down market, and we're going to get one now. So take that for what it's worth. Point is these are simply objective signals with volume and price, okay? Now we're looking at the exact same indicator with volume, again, the volume reversal logic, and we are looking at the NASDAQ or the Qs, QQQ, right? We've had, since inception of the Qs here, we have had 3 signals. One in April of 2000, okay? Tech bubble burst. One in November of 2007, financial crisis, and one right now, January 2022. Let's look at SPY. SPY, a little more, lot of false signals during the run up back in the 90s, right? We had one here, 98. I think that month there, what was that? That was August 98. What was that, like a Russian default or something? We had signals in June and November of '07, just like we did with the Qs and the Dow, or Diamonds, DIA, and we had one in February 2018, just like we did with the Dow, and we're going to have one now. And again, you can see we also get buy signals on these things too. So my point here is that this isn't like some sort of narrative where it's bearish to be bearish. There's an actual monthly volume reversal signal that's happening across all three major ETFs that represent the indices: DIA, QQQ, and SPY. So I don't know. It might pay to pay attention to those. Let's move on and look at some charts. Since we just looked at these equity indices, why don't we go and take a look at the actual indices? So this is a channel, goes back to the March 2009 lows in the S&P, okay? Been showing this chart for a while in my posts and in these webinars, and we've rolled over, really haven't even gotten to the first major support. The first major support, I'll go to a daily now. The first major support is probably like 39.90, okay? That is going to be this, you see this magenta line here, that's a line that goes off of the Jan 2018 high, February 2020 high, and that cuts through what was resistance, and then it became support, very precise support at that. What's interesting here too is that if we take this range that we've had this week, right, and just do a measured move. So here's a measured move. That gets us to the exact same level, okay? Literally the exact same level, 39.89. So to me, that is a level that I would circle. I would draw it on your piece of paper and put it on your desk, just so you know that 39.89, 39.90 is huge, okay? So with that, I will move on to our regular scheduled programming in FX. All right,